On Undisputed, should LeBron be worried about the Sixers in the playoffs? And is Floyd Mayweather really headed to the UFC? We'll discuss all of that. Plus, Ray Lewis and Jim Jackson are in studio with us. Undisputed is coming up next. Jenna, back to you guys.
All right, Joy, thank you. We look forward to that. Time now for Say What? D-backs manager Torey Lovullo and Cardinals catcher Yadier Molina got in a screaming match over the weekend. So what did Lovullo say to get Molina so mad? Say what?
I wish I could take back what I said, but it really wasn't really directed at him. And it was more a term of me saying I respect him on that level, that he's getting special things because he's that good.
He called me a twice.
Those two stories don't exactly match up. Not a long list of people, CC, that I would like to call that, but I think at the bottom of the list are any of the Molina brothers. They don't seem to be a family to be trifled with too much.
No, there's a lot of baseball players you take them on in a fight.
Mm-hmm.
None of them would be included.
No,
it would be a bunch of guys I'd be fighting in the dugout before them.
Absolutely right, especially if you're a manager. Like, come on.
No, he didn't want no pieces of that.
No, and Yachty's got the chest protector and everything.
Sure, he went right
He's
out.
ready to go. Man, not interesting. I was telling him how much I respect him. He called me
twice.
Twice. 2 times.
Moving on to the latest on Odell Beckham Jr. Last week, trade rumors were flying about Odell Beckham Jr. I wondered aloud whether we thought Odell had perhaps realized that all these distractions were possibly costing him. The answer seems to have been a yes, because the team's holding its first day of offseason workouts today, and Odell has told reporters he will be there. He will show up even without the new contract that he so desperately wants. All right. CC, how important is it for Odell and the Giants that he is showing up today?
It's very important. The OTAs, for people who don't know, it's kind of the start, besides free agency, it's kind of the start of this upcoming season, the first day.
Yeah.
Collectively, the whole team will be there. Now, once you get through the draft, then you start adding the draft picks to it. So you start to see a full complement of the players that you will be playing with for the 2018 season. But also, they're not just getting ready for the 2018 season. It's the Dave Gettleman regime, Pat Shurmur regime, the general manager and the head coach. It's their first days that they're starting to see the players that will be on this year's roster. And it's the first day that Pat Shurmur is able to express his message as far as what the plans are this year, what type of team they're going to have, and what type of organization or what are the expectations on the day-to-day from the new head coach. So it becomes very important that the star players, the key players, that they're able to buy in to what the organization is telling the rest of the people in the locker room, with Odell being one of the leaders of the team and one of the most popular players. It's very important that he's there the first day.
This is one of those things where I don't know how much Odell helps himself by showing up today. But I do feel it's fair to say he would hurt himself enormously by not showing up today.
Yeah, he would hurt himself, too, by not being there, because the system they're going to run is foreign to him. The language that they're running is totally foreign to him. So it would show that he has no interest in what they're doing right now.
The optics.
And his contract is far more important than him being at the facility learning the system.
And, Jimmy, you said the optics, but not just the optics. Chris is talking about the actual X's and O's football. Like, under the new CBA, Pat Shurmur was able to talk to Odell previously, but it's weird. They're not allowed to talk about football. Like, you're not allowed to implement any game plan, not allowed to say this is what I need to be studying up on now. I'm sure some teams kind of fudge that a little bit, but the rules are you're not allowed to talk to your guys about football. This is their first opportunity as a team, as CC mentioned. It's critically important because it is a new head coach, because it is a new regime, and because of what it would say if Odell did not show up for this, given, even if nothing had happened this offseason, by the way. If that video had never come out, it would have been bad had he not shown up for today. Now, it obviously, I mean, I trust him on his word. I trust the reporting on this, that he's planning on showing up. I also think
there was no point that he wasn't going to show up. So there is no reporting that he's going to be there. He told some reporter. He never told him he wasn't going to be there.
So explain I think the audience is maybe confused, because what had been reported is that Odell won't show up to training camp without a new contract.
Yeah, well, it's April.
Right.
They're OTAs. It's not training camp. Yes, if he doesn't have a contract, he's not going to show up for training camp.
Well, I think the assumption is if he's not showing up for training camp, he's not showing up to any Giants organized practice.
I think that it's our job to inform people.
Yeah,
These are two separate dates. All right? He's got 8 weeks that he'll be training with the Giants at the OTAs that aren't mandatory. Once training camp starts, he won't be there if he doesn't have a new deal.
And that's something, by the way, the training camp part of it, that is exactly what we saw with Aaron Donald last year, by the way. Now, Aaron Donald was going into year 4 for Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald and Odell, same draft class.
Right.
So Aaron Donald wanted the new contract, just like Odell did, by the way, a year earlier than his even
DeAndre Hopkins in Houston was in the same situation last year. He decided to go to camp. He ended up getting the extension before the season started, but a wide receiver in the same situation, went about it a different way, still got to accomplish what he wanted to.
Go ahead, Janice.
Well, I was going to say, Pat Shurmur just spoke a few minutes ago and said he is very much looking forward to working with Odell and seeing him. And you have to wonder what that relationship is going to be like, because it didn't seem like that relationship was there last year with Ben McAdoo. But talk about, Pat Shurmur, both of you, how important it is for Odell to work under that tutelage.
I mean, he has no choice. I mean, he's already... Odell, if he's not careful, he's going to be judged like a basketball player. Well, we had the boat thing. But what did they do after the boat thing? I mean, before the boat thing, they had Tom Coughlin. Tom Coughlin quit. All right? They hired the offensive coordinator. He got fired. Now, if Pat Shurmur ends up getting fired when Odell's there, he's been like, dang, bro, you done went through 3 coaches. Now, this guy's going to be a coach killer. Like, that's going to be part of the Odell thing. So it becomes very important as the leader that you're able to get the message from the coach and what he's telling the media, and also the message trying to convey to the players. As one of the players most popular, one of the most talented players, and one of the ones who will be making the most money, it's important that you stay on cue with the organization and the head coach.
And this is why I believe for all parties involved, Pat Shurmur, Dave Gettleman, the Mara family, the New York Giants, and most importantly, or more than anybody else, Odell Beckham Jr. The best case scenario is that Odell Beckham Jr. remain a Giant, that they agree to a contract extension. I think that's what the Giants want. I think that's what Odell wants. I understand that this video coming out and the fact that we knew Odell was going to have enormous financial demands before the video came out, before he even got hurt. He loses season due to injury. Then the video comes out. He still doesn't have the contract. The head coach gets fired. There's a new GM. Are they going to draft a franchise quarterback? All of a sudden, something that I don't think it's ridiculous to say just 8 months ago would have been unthinkable, could the Giants trade Odell Beckham, is a real possibility. Now, I don't think it's the likely possibility, but if he were to no-show today, it becomes more likely, and I don't think the will Odell get traded stuff goes away until if and when he signs that new contract. Like, it'll quiet after the draft, because if you want to get better for this year, you want 2018 draft picks, not 2019 draft picks. But it won't go away entirely until if and when he signs a massive contract, because once you sign that contract, you can't trade the player.
Do you think he will get the deal he's looking for this season, or will the Giants want him to play out the season?
He will get it. I don't know the specifics of what he wants. He's been kind of vague in saying that. I believe they will get a deal done. I don't believe it'd be at the number that he wants.
When you say not the number he wants, still probably puts him at the top of the wide receiver market.
Yeah, of course.
That he will set the new wide receiver market.
Just with not nearly more incentives, not nearly as many guarantees.
I would almost call them reverse incentives. I think more ways to possibly void the contract or void the guarantees. And
the team will have protection in it based on his behavior.
Right. And that's fair, right? Like, that's what should be the case.
Yeah, the only way to predict future behavior is past behavior. Like, he has set himself up that they could put the type of language in there that if something happened, they could get some of the sign-in bonus back. But even if they didn't have the language in there, if something happened anyway, they could get the sign-in bonus back anyway, if he violates the contract. So there's a certain amount of provisions that the Giants, based on who the person is, they will have in the contract, all right? He will have clauses in there to show up in the offseason. He will have clauses to show up in training camp, all those things based on previous behavior.
And the other part of this, that the one name that is almost never discussed in the Odell situation is Eli. Like, the Mara family has made it clear how committed to Eli they are and how upset, basically, as an organization they were with what happened last year with Eli. And everybody knows that Eli has been, at least historically in his career, 2 different quarterbacks. One quarterback when throwing to Odell, and one quarterback when throwing to any other receiver they have. And I know they've never had a guy like Odell, but they had Plexico Burress. They had Victor Cruz when Victor Cruz was really good. They had Amani too. They had good players. None of them brought the best out of Eli as Odell has, and Eli doesn't have a lot of years left. Like, you know who would be the second most disappointed if they trade Odell Beckham Jr. after Odell Beckham Jr.? Eli Manning. I'm sure he's a bit of a headache for him. Sure, there are parts of his personality that are not Eli's personality, but he knows how valuable that guy is to giving them a chance to compete for a champ. Eli doesn't want to do a rebuild when he's going into year 15 for Eli, when he's 37 years old. Like,
but Eli has, the Giants won 4 Super Bowls. They won 2 of them with Eli, and they didn't have a superstar receiver. So Eli's like, listen, man, like, we can do this a different way.
Guys, great show today.
Fun show.
Awesome.
Good way to start off.